let the feeling sink in. Let the feeling sink in. We won two crucial fixtures in the league against Newcastle and Man City. This is something which is a really big achievement given the fact that the league is getting competitive season on season. We have teams like Bournemouth, Fulham, who have co-joined Brighton and Newcastle in becoming primal hunters out there. They want to grab points off the fucking top six, right? And they're used to doing it, to be honest, because they play fearless football. Nonetheless, before I get on a rant, cheers to everyone out there who is a Liverpool fan, and you know what? We have done an impressive job. The boys have done an immaculate job on the front. I think Liverpool versus Newcastle again, 2-0, a victory at Anfield, and I hope Van Dijk's wishes were fulfilled. Even though I watched the game on mute because I was at work. But I hope the atmosphere was absolutely electrifying, and I'm sure it must be. But to begin the podcast, I want to respect the manager, our opposition manager, Eddie Howe. I think Eddie Howe is a terrific guy. Newcastle really gave a fight out there, I think, especially with the likes of Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes, and their wingers acting as wingbacks off the ball. I think they were really hybrid and they tried their level best in constricting the spaces that Liverpool were trying to leverage the most of. And I think we were quite successful in doing it from the very first half, right? It was a error-prone half, I would consider that, to be honest, because I think we started the game on a pretty good note. We were lurking around their box, we had the pressure on them, and there were circumstances where Szoboszlai would get the ball, but then Tonali would be pressing onto him. You'd have a Dan Burns getting onto him, and he would lose the ball, and then all of a sudden there would be a counter-attack in the process. But the counter-press, or even if you were trying to retrieve the ball, we were tracking back, we were trying to calm everyone down. There was a certain balance in the way we were winning the ball back, right? Now, the game in the first 20-25 minutes, I think Liverpool, again, like I mentioned, they were trying to retrieve the ball. The second balls were going in both the teams' favors. It was an even-Steven situation, even though none of the teams created massive chances. I still think Liverpool was slightly better than them for sure. And the reason for that is Liverpool had a Mohamed Salah. What Mohamed Salah is to Liverpool, Alexander Isak is to Newcastle. And I don't care about the banter, I don't care about the trolling, but I do attribute this win to a crucial element who was not present in their team tonight, and that is obviously Alexander Isak. I think Callum Wilson couldn't really do the job for them that Isak could have done for sure. There were a few moments of scare where Callum Wilson was making those runs in behind Konate, Trent, and he was able to get on the ball, but then there was an offside decision on one call, and then a couple of other decisions in the first half where Konate stepped up, Van Dijk stepped up. Again, a solidified backline is what we have at this point in time, and it's safe to say, with the inclusion of Trent Alexander-Arnold, we are still the best defense out there in the league right now. Imagine Trent being a defensive liability, even though he wasn't that miserable vis-a-vis what he did against Jeremy Doku that night. I think Anthony Gordon wasn't up to his best tonight. I don't think it was his day at all. I think he struggled massively in trying to get onto that tempo. Even though he supplied a couple of balls, he got in behind the defense on one or two occasions in the second half. But Newcastle weren't really looking like the Newcastle we are used to facing. And one of the primary reasons for that is they have had so many injuries throughout the season, but that is not an excuse for a team to underperform. This seems a little contradicting, but at the same time, I solely believe if the manager doesn't really have players at his disposal, it doesn't really matter. He has to perform at optimal levels to ensure that his team is getting the points that they need, right? But man, a couple of points that I really want to touch base on before I get on to other things. Szoboszlai. This guy slyly is growing maturely in that role of a midfielder, attacking midfielder, number 10, whatever you want to call him. This guy is becoming a leader that we need up front, right? Giving his entirety throughout the 90, this guy is running mad. He is making teams unsettle. And the goal that he scored, turning up big in the business end of the season. And I'm going to tell you why I'm calling this the business end of the season. Turning up big against Man City, against Newcastle, with a similar finish, a left-footed finish. The ball was squared by Luis Diaz, and we'll get on to him too. We'll get on to him. So was like immaculate, intense, superb in every facet, to be honest. And even though he started the game a bit on the edge, but I think it takes him time to settle down and to become the primal version of himself. Luis Diaz, the best dribbler on the pitch, the best chance creator on the pitch, wasn't really enjoying the space in behind Livramento, but this guy is so crucial to us. He is so crucial. His footwork was so exquisite. The touches that he was taking, he was so balanced when he was attacking ahead, when he was going ahead. This guy gives it his all, right? People are so one-dimensional. They only think that football for wingers is when they go in behind. No, football is also when they intelligently find the players in the box, when they're able to create key chances, key passes, situations like Soboslai's, where he's able to score a goal out of nothing. I think Luis Diaz was absolutely brilliant. He ran that flank like a fucking bull. And Tsimikas, I am so happy that he started the game because the supportive role that he took, the level of creativity that he was inducing on that left flank, right? That it's just that level of maturity that Robertson offers. Again, he offers something else, but Tsimikas has that slight edge at this point in time over Robertson when it comes to being attacking minded. See, I think Robertson for sure has regressed over the years, but Tsimikas is still operating and he's still learning the trade. Might not be a lot younger than Robertson, but at the same time, I think Tsimikas, attacking wise, I think he is still good in that department, right? I think Robertson really struggles now in making quick decisions around the box, being a little more attack minded. I think he should maybe go to another club for sure in a couple of seasons. Obviously, I don't want to offload him right now, but I can see warning signs lurking, not that tonight he wasn't good. I think he was okay, but I still feel that we can do better with another fullback, unfortunately. So, anyhow, yeah, Mohamed Salah, exquisite, brilliant as always. He made Dan Burns, Lewis Hall dance on their feet, even though they had constricted his freedom. He couldn't really go in behind much, but there were times when he literally cooked really bad. He cooked Newcastle, literally retrieving the box, picking up the balls in between the space between the midfield and the defense. This guy knew that there had to be a way of breaking this Newcastle team down, breaking the lines down. What he did was he looked in between the spaces between the midline and the attack, picked up the balls there and supplied the balls ahead to Soboslai, would be making the runs, or Luis Diaz diagonally trying to calm the situation down, or finding Diogo Jota. And on two occasions, once via Trent and once via Salah, our players, the ball hit the back heel. Right, this happened with Luis Diaz, happened with Diogo Jota, and I was like, dude, we could have created more chances than we did. We could have registered more chances than we did. And Trent, when it comes to attacking, I think Trent is the reason why that tempo is held on to, right? There's some consistency in that momentum because we have players in the fullback positions who've got that brilliant right foot, right? Trent Alexander-Arnold, again, an exceptional attacker, but a poor defender on the ball, right? But all in all, I think I am really pleased with the performance. The lads delivered tonight. Really impressive with what they did. Again, Gravenberch, McAllister, Soboslai. Is this the best trio in the world right now?